All right, once again, we are back. We are on DraftKings again for another best ball draft. We are going with the NFL Best Ball 1 mil training camp. 250K to first place, $1 million total prize pool, $10 buy in. Eight of 12 entrants in here. I just need to ensure and figure out that when it gets filled, it will take me to the lobby. Nothing has changed from yesterday. No real pertinent news. I think maybe there have been one or two defensive adjustments. Josh Johnson signed with Cincinnati. So that's a backup quarterback. They could not deal with Jake Browning any longer. That should be pretty irrelevant for us. I don't think that sways T. Higgins or Jamar Chase or Chase Brown one way or another. And if Joe Burrow does go down, we've seen that it's going to be rough for all those assets regardless. Josh Johnson doesn't change that. Jalen Jones is re-signing with Chicago, so that happened last night. They finally got a piece of their secondary back. Generally, they have not. They've been letting them go. And that should be about it. Titans D lineman signed a 2-year, Joseph Day, 2-year, $11 million deals with the Steelers. So I feel like everything we've seen recently has been defensive signings, backup signings, everything getting shirt out. We still don't know the landing spot for pieces like, let's make sure this hasn't filled actually. We're at 10. So 2 more people got to get in here. We still do not know the landing spot for a lot of tight ends. So we got Dallas Goedert and Njoku, some quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins. Still a lot up in the air. I am obviously a fiend to be drafting this early, but I am so excited for the NFL draft to take place, which is still over a month away. But, I mean, I've got so many bags of various rookies, a lot of rookie running backs that are darts later in the rounds. Some rookie wide receivers, probably too much Denzel Boston. I feel like he's falling now. Some Kenyon Sadiq. But I am overall just very interested to see where they go and see how that ends up with the stacking options. If anybody has a rookie that they think is either, I don't know how many of you are doing expert draft analysis or prospect analysis and understanding if you have favorites, where they are, who's a value. If you guys have anybody you think is an obvious play that's going to be a rookie this year, let me know, because I want to take those dart throws now relative to later. $11 to 12 entrants now. And we're in. All right, we are at pick 8. So this is equivalent to what it was last night. We'll see any differences we can have. Last night we started with James Cook and Omarion Hampton. How will that shift? If I have that choice, which I probably will again between CeeDee Lamb and James Cook, I'll probably end up going CD. Just because it is PPR, I want to make sure my exposures are balanced. CeeDee Lamb in a Dallas Cowboys offense that has caught fire. Schottenheimer has done well. They've retained pretty much all of their pieces. They should just have more cohesion going forward, barring injury. I want to make sure that I have at least some parts of that, as much as James Cook. Even though I do think James Cook has a very, very real reality where he outscores CeeDee Lamb, there is still a reasonable chance, anywhere from like 35 to 50%, 55% that CeeDee Lamb outscores James Cook. So we start in 1 minute. Again, I don't know. This is going to be consistent. I don't know how to get Jahmyr Gibbs re-added and not excluded. Maybe I need to revise my rankings. But it is what it is. I'm actually going to grab water in the 20 seconds real fast before I gotta. I should have came prepared. That's unprofessional. Unprofessional. And if you can't tell, this is a very high dollar budget we got over here. If only you could see the setup. Super high dollar. Super high dollar. Last night, Ja'Marr Chase went first at the 101. How does this Josh Johnson news affect that? Bijan goes, unsurprising. I do feel like I'm getting slightly more comfortable with the board. Let's go to here. All right, we're locking in this. And I know I'm going to mess it up at some point. But hopefully that's not for a while. JSN at 4. I think that the top 6 picks are consensus the best picks to me. So far they've gone off pretty accurately. Ja'Marr needs to go though. Yeah. Oh, I'm on the clock. I should pay attention. I think I am an Amon-Ra here. I want to take more Detroit Lions than I've taken in the past. He was gone last time I went for it. But these guys are all in the same tier, essentially. It's very interesting to me that there are quite a few people who have Devon Achane moving down after the Malik Willis signing. Like, that's going to be worse for him than the Tua. And I get it from potentially a PPR perspective, which this is PPR, of Malik Willis does not throw as many passes. That being said, what it's going to open in the running game is going to be so fast, I just feel like it counteracts that. And I don't feel like Tua is better for this offense than Malik Willis is going to be, and so there should be just equal opportunity. All right, so we're going to have a pretty similar start that we did last time, I think. Equal fall again. Omarion Hampton. Could go Jeremiah Love here, but I know Omarion Hampton's situation is elite. And I know that he is first-round pedigree, incredible testing, elite athlete. Not that Jeremiah Love is not, but I know Omarion Hampton's situation. I know who his OC is. I know the O-line that's returning. I know the quarterback that he has under center making the adjustments. And I trust every single part of that. So we have a little bit more flexibility now than we did. Malik Neighbors at 14 is crazy again. So there continues to be random. Chris Olave right here. I get it. These guys are being unique. There's not really going to be any other CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, because Malik Neighbors goes right here. There's not going to be any other Devon Achane, Chris Olaves, because Devon Achane usually goes here. Chris Olave usually goes here. It is unique, but I mean, like, you just need. The Malik Neighbors one makes a little bit more sense because you're playing for 15, 16, 17. I understand that. He has the upside there to be the penultimate player. Chris Olave doesn't, to me, have that same upside. It's just a massive tier gap. And it's like, if you wanna go ahead and take that shot, take that chance, throw it on black, throw it on red, and hope for the best with Chris Olave, and you think that uniqueness is worth just as much as those tiers, go for it. But you do have to make the playoffs. I'm hoping, I'm praying Josh Jacobs makes it to me somehow. I always am. Like, again, I always feel Josh Jacobs should go anywhere from, like, here to here, but he should never drop into round 3, and that's where he goes without fail every time. I think I will when I look back on the board. Josh Jacobs goes. So this guy, interesting. I say that every time. He can definitely make it up if he goes receiver straight. But we've seen that DraftKings does not always have the same experience and wisdom with the drafters that everywhere else has. I may need to start taking some Ted McMillan. Hopefully I can get him on the way back around, because I think there are some reaches. No, there's going to be 8 picks. It's going to be difficult. Josh Allen goes. Again, we got a lot of people that need to make up receiver. But I mean, I wasn't in this boat. But I got T. Higgins in round 3 last time. Who am I going for now? I'm happy with any of these 3 guys. What's the news here? Brown will not be traded at that time. Unsurprising. Basically exactly what we had anticipated. Nico goes. Love the people on auto. ETN goes. All right, so that gives us Rashee Rice, who I think I will take over A.J. Brown. It potentially leaves Ted McMillan coming back. Somebody... No, T. Higgins is still right there. I would be happy taking Javonte too. Again, his contract's not quite as good, but his opportunity is elite. All right, let me instead of looking at the players, planning my next move, which I mean I should still be doing, and maybe I should be talking a little bit more about that. Right now, next I'm looking at probably either Tet if he makes it, which he almost certainly won't, or Javonte Williams. I could settle for a T. Higgins, a Ladd McConkey. I would be happy with Breece Hall. I think if he makes it to 41, that's good value for him. Those are pretty much everybody that I'm looking at. None of them have gone. T. Higgins goes. But I'm very, very flexible right now. Tet goes. Colston Loveland. Again, I'm not touching Bucky here. I don't think many people are, to be honest. Breece goes. That sucks. So Breece transparently is probably who I would have taken. I could very easily go Ladd McConkey and do another Charger stack. But I mean, I have one of those. I've had a few of those over my drafts. I don't have as much Javonte Williams, and I think Javonte is an equal value. And I have the flexibility to do it. This is the last bona fide, as far as we know, essentially 3 down back. Thank you for letting me take him. Last 3 down back that I see in this range. Splitting the backfield. Splitting the backfield / injured. Splitting the backfield as far as we know. Splitting the backfield. What do we have on the news here? So it's like, okay, just fully agreed. This guy, now this is really bold. I understand he wanted the Bucky value, but the Bucky value is probably going to end up here eventually. Like, it's going to just fall, and this is going to be the spot. He's going to be going in the 40s. He's going to be going mid to late 4th because the Kenny Gainwell contract is that massive. Mike Evans leaving the offense does take away even more red zone opportunities. Bucky Irving's receiving role is not going to be there the same way it was. And this guy already had 3 bona fide... Like, you can only start maximum 3 of these guys if you include a flex. This guy already had 3 bona fide starters. Essentially workhorses. He needs the receiver points. Trevor Lawrence at 45, I just realized happened. This guy has... Devontae Adams at 28 was also early. So this guy's kind of had 2 meme picks. Kyron at 21 is also pretty early. I don't know if he's going for uniqueness, if he's trolling, what's happening. Lad at 46 is a value. So right here, I'm still extremely flexible. I want a receiver in the next 2 rounds. This is where they start to get difficult for me in this range. I don't want Jalen Waddle. I don't have anything to stack with DJ Moore, and I've seen what he is the last 2 years. I know he's in Buffalo, and it's easy to be drawn to and gravitate towards that situation, but that doesn't mean that he's going to get that much better. He was in a pretty good offense under Ben Johnson. I mean, now he should be the focal point, but at the same time, okay, this guy's making up. This guy's doing the correct thing as far as trying to get back in. This guy only has Mike Evans, a guy who will probably miss time for his hamstring again this year. So we've got 2 teams that are, right now, donating money. I may... Do I even want to go Quinshon? This guy has went 5 running backs. All right, I'm going to take... Wow. I am going to take Christian Watson, and then Quinshon may have been the move just because it's more unique with ADP value. But I'm going Christian Watson, and then I will take either DeAndre Swift or Quinshon Judkins. ADP values are not always the most important thing. Christian Watson, I think, could be more valuable than Quinshon Judkins when it's all said and done. There's a lot. It's much more wide open. Marvin Harrison? What the hell is happening in this draft? I pray nobody wants Quinshon, but somebody's going to want him. Somebody's taking him here. But I will take Swift or I will take Quinshon. Either one. We've already got 2 workhorse guys. One more is going to really sure us up. We have 3 wide receivers. We have all our starting spots reasonably filled. Doom is having, I mean, if there's a position to go 0 of, again, we've talked about it, it's tight end, it's RB. He's already taken a tight end, but he's going 0 RB here. He'll probably take Quinshon just because that value. Now Quinshon goes. So I don't know who this guy's going to take. He needs a running back. I pray he doesn't take Swift. He might go Scatabo, but then you're taking an injured back and they might draft Jeremiah Love, in which case you're kind of dead. Caleb Williams, still no RBs. He does get a Colston Loveland stack. Ramondre goes. So I'm looking at DeAndre Swift. I could be looking at Cam Scatabo if I really wanted to. I'll mix in Cam Scatabo. DeAndre Swift is looking me in the face. The New York Giants do have a lot of needs. We'll go Cam Scatabo. Parker Washington is probably the most egregious ADP I have seen on any platform so far this year. I would not take him inside the top 100. And he's going at 58. Gross. Ew. This guy is so messed up in the mind. Cruz is officially donating money. The other reason that I was okay going with a running back is because there are so many that have gone now, and there are people that are now going to be behind at running back. This guy is behind at running back. He's got RJ Harvey, who's probably maximum getting 50%. Maybe he gets up to 60%. Now, J.K. Dobbins could get injured again. That's very possible. But right now, RJ Harvey is not a value, and he's his only running back right now. This guy is Kyron Williams and Bashal Tutin. He got his stacks. He's got a Jacksonville stack, but this is not the stack that I want. I like Trevor Lawrence. I don't like the rest of these values here. And he did take Trevor Lawrence way too early. He did not have to take him this early. He could have taken David Montgomery, Travion Henderson at this range. DeAndre Swift finally goes. Cruz is giving us money. We are now we have 2 spots to advance. This is a pretty classic one where 2 out of 12 advance, then you go to week 15, 1 out of 12, week 16, 1 out of 12, and then a big final. I don't remember exactly how many. I think it's like 130. But we're not going 2 out of 12 now. We're going 2 out of 11 already. And maybe probably 2 out of 10. We probably have a 20% chance already, just because if we look at Nesta for Marley as well, he only has Mike Evans as a receiver. Cortland Sutton goes. We can really do whatever we want here. I think I'll probably be looking at, in some way, shape, or form, Jackson Dart on the way back. Or I could go Justin Herbert again. I very well may. Right now, what I'm looking at is probably an Alec Pierce play. I'm going to let the money talk. He's going to have a lot of targets. It's him and Tyler Warren. Josh Downs may jump, but we're getting him 10 picks past ADP here. I could be just as inclined to take Brian Thomas Jr., but I will go Alec Pierce. 10 to 11 picks past ADP. So now we're super balanced. We're taking either Justin Herbert or Jackson Dart on the way back around, whichever one is available. There might be both. If both are available, I think I have to go with Justin Herbert. The situation, like when it comes to tiebreakers, the situation has to matter. And it's like, do I want Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator with an injured Malik Neighbors and no wide receiver 2 and an injured Cam Scatterbo? Or do I want a healthy Omarion Hampton, a great Mike McCarthy? But it may not be up to me. This decision may be made for me, right? I think both of these guys should be getting points, but I'm so much more inclined to go Justin Herbert. That goes. Quentin Johnston goes. So this guy does not have a QB. He also does not have any Chargers. Goes Chris Godwin. Justin Herbert, welcome in again. I feel like I can't get enough. There's a few quarterbacks I can't get enough of at these ranges. And that is Brock Purdy, who I haven't actually been able to get anywhere near as much as I want. But Brock Purdy and Justin Herbert. And Jalen Hurts, honestly, at the range that he's going at. Jalen Hurts at 72 when I've already told us they're not going to. I was like fading Jalen Hurts when I was under the assumption they were going to still ban the tush push. But they have decided now that either they've gotten good enough defensively at it, or Philadelphia is just mediocre enough that they don't care about disbanding it. Which means Jalen Hurts should have a lot of rushing touchdowns. This guy has Jordan Tyson through 8 rounds. I can't fathom. Does this guy have... This guy, Doom, does not have an RB. So we're looking at maybe in reality, it's much more likely there could be some crazy stuff that happens. But in reality, we have a 2 out of 9 chance right now to advance instead of 2 out of 12. Which I feel great about. That's given me higher equity value odds than it should be. Has anybody taken way too many quarterbacks yet? Not as of now. This guy needs some real receiver help and RB help. Brenton Strange at 93. So this guy is sacrificing everything for the Jacksonville stack. Everything. He went Jacoby Myers. At least he got another receiver. But he has sacrificed everything for this. He lives for this life. We're at pick 104. Kyle Monangai still down there. I'm not really moved by Kyle Monangai. I think we know this. I haven't taken him at all. All right, I have not taken any of them. I think that this is maybe a little high, but it's about the right value. I'm going Oronde Gadsden. Continuing the stack. We just had an Omarion Hampton Ladd McConkey stack. Now we have Omarion Hampton, Oronde Gadsden with Justin Herbert stack. Gives us a little bit more diversity. I have Justin Herbert stacked with Quentin Johnston, Trey Harris, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen even, Omarion Hampton. The only person I did not have him stacked with to this point was Oronde Gadsden. Monangai goes, Dobbins goes. We're sitting at 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, 1 QB, 1 tight end. So ideally, I'm looking for a receiver. Ideally. But when I'm looking at the board right now, there's nobody that moves me exceptionally. Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton's gone. J.K. Dobbins is gone. So we'd have to get Pat Bryant. Maybe Stowers or Sadiq and hope that they end up there. Bo Nix goes anyway. Huh. Oh, man. I'm going to go Jordan Mason because I would kind of like Kyler Murray later. It buys me more into the Minnesota offense, which I'm a lot higher on now this year than I was potentially last year with Carson Wentz, J.J. McCarthy. Their roster's probably not quite as good overall. Defensively, they lost a decent amount. But the quarterback upgrade, I mean, you can think what you want of Kyler, but the situation in Arizona, they have one of the worst rosters in the league. They had one of the worst coaching staffs in the league last year. And this is just such a drastic difference. All right, let's go back to the board. How's my guy doing over here? My guy is still rocking with, through 9 rounds, just Mike Evans. This has to... Still just Mike Evans. The only one. This guy is Jon Snow in the North. And this guy is still rocking with just Jordan Tyson. It's actually insane. This guy is rocking with just Kyle Monangai. See, a lot of times, so I'm looking at my draft and I'm like, okay, I've got this double stack. I've got Gadsden. I've got Omarion. I have balance. I have 4 receivers through 7 rounds. I have 3 running backs through 6. I have 4 running backs through 10. I have my starting QB. I have my starting tight end. We're going to work that out through the rest of the rounds. Kyler Murray goes. That makes it more difficult for me. But I don't even have to look at my draft. I mean, obviously I'm playing for the final week. But once you get to the playoffs, as long as you have the requisite balance of players that can get it done any given week at a position, and you have the requisite stacks that should help you get there, anything can happen. But you need the consistency and balance of the first 14 weeks to make the playoffs. And so I'm not even looking at my team being like, wow, this is insane. But I'm looking at everybody else's, and I'm saying they're beating themselves, and I should have a high advance rate. Because this guy just went Charbonnet again, and still only has Mike Evans. Sam Darnold goes. Incredible. Incredible. To be fair, I am going to need a quarterback. 2 of them at this point. But in the meantime, I'm going to go with... Actually, we're going to try to stack up Jalen Coker and Bryce Young. Oh, man. The issue is I do not want to reach. I do not want to reach on Bryce Young. Who are the QBs available? It's Bryce, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones I could get with Alec Pierce very easily. That's at 146. At the board, where am I coming back at? So I'm right here at 137, and then I'm at 152. So I'm going to wait. I'm probably going to get Concepcion, maybe Coleman, maybe Sadiq. If Sadiq's here, I'll take Sadiq. Because why? Like, I don't really want to. I really don't really want to. Actually, maybe I won't. But like, it's just the ADP value is insane. But I need receivers. I have 5 now. I've got Jalen Coker. But I want to make sure I'm taking some that still have the upside shots. Receivers, we know, go far, far before and have a much quicker drop-off than running backs, tight ends. This guy still only has Jordan Tyson. It's just perplexing. Man, like it really is. This guy still only has Kyle Monangai. He better take Jonah Coleman. Mike Washington. He better hit with some rookies. Speaking of, as long as I can get him, it's Casey Concepcion here. And I can. That makes me feel a lot more balanced about my receiver room. We're now just looking at a lot of certified production. Boom, Amon-Ra is as consistent as you get. Boom, Rashee Rice is as consistent when healthy and not in jail as you can get. Christian Watson can boom. Alec Pierce can boom. Jalen Coker, I mean, he's not consistent because he's not a top guy, but he's consistent for his price. Casey Concepcion is another potential boom, like from rookies. We need those. And then we're balanced at running back. We can take tight ends later. We have a guy already that should be producing. Like, let's see what he did. Game log. Wasn't exceptional, but he is going into year 2. He did not start immediately. But then once he did, boom, 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 and then he dropped off a little bit. Okay, that guy might be fine. This guy could be a worthy adverse. No, wait. I mean, like Jonah Coleman's a good pick. But he needs these guys to hit. He needs these guys to hit. Every week. This guy finally got his second receiver in Steph Diggs, who could be in jail. This guy still only has Mike Evans, bro. He has 3 quarterbacks and one Mike Evans. It's awesome. It really is awesome. Bryce Young goes. We assumed we'd lose at least one. This guy does not need a quarterback. This guy might need a quarterback, but doesn't have anybody to stack with him. This guy does not need quarterback. This guy should probably go another running back. I hope he takes Tyreek Hill. Denzel Boston, that's fine. Daniel Jones, welcome in. Who are the QBs now? Don't want him. Don't want any of these guys. So that's unfortunate. It's crazy that I may end up going with Geno Smith. I may end up going to Deshaun Watson, which is even worse. I'm up next. I have enough Brandon Ayuk to feed a family. So Omar Cooper. We're going to probably try to end with Josh Downs. We're probably going to try to take Josh Downs at the very end. I don't even know where his ADP is. Was he already taken? Do I just not know where it's at? Oops. Okay, his ADP is 145. That's fair. I have not even looked at him this year, and I need to now that Pittman is gone. I need to be taking Josh Downs. So now we're gonna have to look at a different 7th or 8th receiver. But I'm not mad at this situation. I think these two could very well carry just themselves. But I do probably want another QB at the very end that could be contributing. We don't know too much about... I mean, I personally don't know too much about when Daniel Jones is going to be back. But the fact that they gave him a 2-year extension, to me, means that he's got to be playing. And I'll take that. We can really go with whatever here. I'm really not mad at going Jonathan Brooks. I'm really not mad at going TJ Hawkinson. Now, this guy is doing it right. If he is going to go 0 RB, I like all the people that he's taken. Pacheco's probably not going to do anything unless Jahmyr Gibbs goes down. He might get 1 or 2 touchdowns. It's Detroit, so he could have some 8-point weeks, but is 8 points really going to get it done for you? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Are you okay and content with getting 8 points from your starting running back frequently enough? Because Kyle Monunga is probably going to have a lot of 8-point ceilings. Mike Washington probably won't start. He could work himself into starting, but you have to make the playoffs. Chris Rodriguez is honestly the best bet to have like consistent snaps at the beginning of the year. He takes Hawkinson from me. That ain't no problem. Trey Harris is the final receiver. Saying, hey, Keenan Allen's out of here. We could do that. I think I am going to end up going another tight end right here, though. Am I pressed about having Trey Harris and having a fourth Charger? Not particularly. Because I do need tight end depth. I could take Tesla to pair up with Amon-Ra and say, what if Jameson gets injured? What if Sam Laporta gets injured with the Lions? I mean, when they are really good, be really good. How many RBs do I have? 5. As much as I want to take Stowers, I probably will take Njoku. This guy, I'd imagine, will have a starting job somewhere. Or at least be a red zone threat. Tell me I got him. Thank God. God, I'm waiting way too much to the last minute. Our Mike Evans truther finally takes some more receivers. Our Jordan Tyson truther takes some old washed up guys. I need to do more research, and if anybody wants to enlighten me, please let me know. I don't know why Kayshon Boutte goes this low. I don't take that much of him because I see it as an overall consensus that people don't rate him that highly. But he has so many moments and there's not that much depth there. So maybe people know that they're going to take somebody and I just don't. Maybe people are afraid of Romeo Doubs and Travion Henderson and Hunter Henry. I don't know. Okay, I'm not mad at taking Brian Robinson Jr. here. Not mad at taking Nick Singleton here. We're back up. I have so much Nick Singleton. This is going to be a Brian Robinson Jr. angle. Nick Singleton is coming off an injury. Probably complete dust. But I do need some bodies. So maybe I don't go another receiver here. Because I do want to go 3 tight ends and 3 QBs, which I don't often do. So now I got to decide, do I want 7 RBs and 7 receivers, or do I want 6 RBs and 8 receivers? And looking how it's drawn up, I'm leaning towards 7 RBs, 7 receivers. Which means I may still take Nick Singleton. Ooh, actually, Aaron Rodgers I could take. I don't think I have anybody from Pittsburgh. That being said, I'm looking for starters. And the likelihood is that he comes back. But we'll see who's available. I think I'm almost certainly taking Nick Singleton right now. I already have relative QB depth. I have relative everything depth at this point. But if I'm going for upside. And Aaron Rodgers is strictly a play. Like any of the darts that I take from running back have the ability to pop for weeks 15, 16, 17. Aaron Rodgers unstacked does not have the ability to pop 15, 16, 17 unstacked. He's got to be stacked. So I want to take the guys that I know can pop before anybody else. And then I'll work about... I think I already have the natural depth and balance to have a very good shot at making the playoffs. And then from that point on, I'll just do what I can here to make sure that I've got good odds of making the playoffs. If K. Dotton's here, I'll take K. Dotton. Terrence Ferguson's here, I'll take Terrence Ferguson. We'll throw Craig Dulcich in there. I always throw Max Clare. I have Jalen Coker, we'll see that. That's a 50-50 QB room battle. Big Devon Vele pickup to shore out the wide receiver room of 5 wide receivers. This guy's got 7. The best one is Jordan Tyson, man. The run on tight ends is starting to go. All right, if Aaron Rodgers gives me 4 usable weeks during the regular season, this is worth it to me. Even 3 might be worth it to me. If he can just hold it down until we are confident and comfortable that Daniel Jones is back to where he fully should be, I'm happy, man. Now we're only looking at tight end. And I have Max Clare a decent amount. I have 1 Ja'Tavion Sanders. I think I might go Greg Dulcich. What did he do last year? He didn't do that much last year, but to be fair, Darren Waller was here for a lot of last year. Darren Waller is even older now. Somebody just take Greg Dulcich? Who the hell took Greg Dulcich from me? Who the hell is looking at Craig Dulcich besides me and going, I want that guy? My God, man. All right, I guess I go Jatavion. I don't think that they're going to replace. Could I get Darnell? No, he's just such a role player. He really has no production. Jatavion also has like no production though. That being said, I'll pair him up with. Oh, I'm not on the clock. It got me Max Clare. All right, that's fine. That's whatever. I have Gadsden. I have Njoku. Both those guys should be starting. Max Clare, elite athlete. It's one of the shots that I want to call. So we end up with, at the wide receiver position, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, Alec Pierce, Jalen Coker, Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper Jr. That's where we stop. At running back, we have Omarion Hampton, Javonte Williams, Cam Scatabo, Jordan Mason, Jonathan Brooks, Brian Robinson, Nick Singleton. At tight end, we have Aronde Gadsden, David Njoku, Max Clare. At quarterback, we have Justin Herbert stacked with Omarion Hampton and Aronde Gadsden. We have Daniel Jones stacked with Alec Pierce as it currently stands. We have Aaron Rodgers stacked with Ayahuasca. And that's about it. So comfortable with the team. I'm up against a lot of bums here. A lot of bums. This guy did his damnedest to come back with the RB room, but it's like maybe Emmanuel Wilson is something if they don't draft anybody or bring anybody else in. But George Halani's still competing. Like, he's still probably going to be 50-50. Ray Davis isn't touching the rock anymore. Katron Allen is nothing to me, unless he's an RJ Harvey last year, which is unexpected. Chris Rodriguez can be legit. And by legit, I mean maybe average you 8 to 9 points a game as an average. Isaiah Pacheco, on his good weeks, will probably have 8 to 9. Mike Washington is up in the air, but he probably won't start initially, and you need to make the playoffs, so you need the points early. Kyle Monangai, again, will probably average 8 points. Maybe even 7. Right? It's very hard to bet on these 7th round guys, and this guy has a bunch of them. So I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about Jordan Tyson right here. I'm not worried about Mike Evans right here. This guy did a better job than... No, actually he didn't. I take it back. I'm not worried about those two guys, so I'm already 2 on 9. Everybody else has a reasonable balance. This guy really needs Jeremiah Love and DeAndre Swift to do some heavy lifting, because he runs out of depth pretty fast. But I mean, everybody's going to have some sacrifices. There's 3 teams that are far and away not good. Everybody else has at least a pseudo chance. Anyway, that's all that I got. Let me know who you want to draft. Let me know what I'm missing, who I'm missing, any rookies you want to take a shot on. Any insight that you guys have that I completely forgot to leave out or I'm just fully blissfully unaware of. I'm not that smart with this stuff. Let me know. But thank you for tuning in. Have a good one, y'all.